It's not every day that a new genealogy tool comes online, but there is one today, and I'm excited to talk with the creators of Tree Crossing. And here joining me on the show are David Pugmire and Bob Myers. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey, it's wonderful to see new technology coming our way as genealogists. And I've been taking a look at treecrossing.com. I'm excited to talk to you about kind of what this does, what it's going to solve for us as genealogists and how it works. You know, as somebody who keeps my master family tree on a software program on my computer, I happen to use Roots Magic. There's lots of different ones. But I'm a real advocate that the final say on my family tree resides on my computer and that is backed up to the cloud. It is not sitting on somebody else's website for them to have control over. I might have other trees, working trees, theory trees on Ancestry or Family Search or other places. But my master family tree is on Roots Magic on my computer. And that for me has presented a bit of a challenge when it comes to wanting to share it with my family. So I am looking at Tree Crossing thinking, I see a lot of potential here, and I am really interested to know what the pain points are for the genealogist that you feel like you are solving with Tree Crossing, and is it going to help somebody like me with the way I do my tree?
That's a great question. You know, if you think about it, you're describing how you're doing your work in Roots Magic, right? You're building out your tree. Have you ever tried to share that with the family? What are you going to do? You're going to hand them your Roots Magic file? Probably not. So that's the first thing we're trying to solve, is make it really easy for you to be able to share it and not have to go through a whole bunch of process or learning lots of new software. So yeah, we want to keep you working right where you are. If you love Roots Magic or you love Family Tree Maker or whatever it is that you have, we want you to be able to keep using that.
Right. And I think when we do share, I wouldn't even dare share my Roots Magic file with any of my family. I think they would all run screaming for the hills. But if I was trying to share an online tree that I have at Ancestry or whatever, which is kind of messy because that's where I do some theory working, even then, the experience isn't very kind of user-friendly and family-friendly or non-genealogist friendly. So would that be one of the pain points that we're solving here? Is that are you creating an experience that would be really enjoyable for somebody who doesn't do genealogy and has no plans on doing genealogy?
That's exactly it. In fact, we did not pay you to put that plug in, but that's exactly what we're trying to solve.
Awesome.
You could say, well, I've got my tree online, right? There are several other online services. You could put your tree up there, and like you mentioned, Ancestry. Is it the right experience? You know, a lot of these services are geared towards a genealogist. They're still geared towards editing and building trees, but let's be honest, the rest of the family, they're just not genealogists. And so they need a different experience. They need an experience that's really built for them, that's engaging for them, and it's not overwhelming them with, edit this and mess with that and break your tree, right? So that's one of the key things that we are trying to do is provide a new way to really help the family get engaged. And as our website actually says, we call it irresistible. Make your family tree irresistible. It's not very fun if you get into clunky software. You really want something that's a good experience for them.
I like that. That's a great word. That resonates for me. Bob, so I would imagine that means that you've put together a platform, a place for these people to come and to experience the tree that we want to share with them. And I know technology and coding and all that is so much of your background. Explain to our viewers what exactly we're talking about. It is just a website, correct?
Yeah, it's a website, and the way you upload your tree that David was talking about doesn't use the website. We try to make that actually easier for you. We have a little app that we call it our sync app, and it will just read directly from your genealogy program's data file on your computer, and it'll upload the data you want to upload. It'll let you choose some of the privacy issues, like what living people do you want to include. It'll go find all your photos and get those all uploaded for you as well. So that's just the process of getting it up online. But then for your family, when you want to share that with them, you're inviting them to come and poke around on that website. And when you go up to that website, you find your tree is displayed for them in a very visual and engaging and easy to understand way that lets them explore around and start learning, not get lost, keep track of where they are, um, and just browse it and explore and just poke around and learn in a way that's just designed for them. We're not trying to upsell them to get an ancestry record subscription. We're not trying to, bury them in primary source, research notes. We're just trying to help them learn about their family. And so that's the priority that we focus on at Tree Crossing.
As I looked at it and worked with it, I got the sense that really the way to kind of position this in our minds as a genealogist is that it's much in the category of the family history compiled book or a printed out family chart or the end product that I always tell my listeners, think about who your customer is, if you will. Our customer is our family member, right?
Yeah. We have a lot of fun ideas that we are hoping to add to that we think will add a lot more to that in the future. But we think it's a pretty fun experience already for people that have tried it already and are like, wow, this is really easy to just get around. And I didn't know that about my family. And oh, that's cool. That's exactly the reaction and the response that we're hoping for.
Wonderful. Well, David, I want to have you talk us through a little bit as far as what some of these features are that are going to be irresistible to our family members. But before we talk about that, I know I can hear the people listening and watching, and their question is, but I do have an online tree on Ancestry where I do some work, or I even sync my tree from Family Tree Maker or from Roots Magic up to Family, or maybe I have it at Family Search, and even if I don't currently have a paid subscription, we can still look at our tree. We could at least still see the photographs we attach to it. Why would we do this sharing at Tree Crossing instead of just saying, well, you can go look at the free version of my Ancestry tree?
I can say that part of it is just getting into the tree. And, I don't know how these other systems work. Maybe that you have to have your family all create user accounts and log in. One of the best answers to this is something that's hard to describe. And that is, you have to think about other family members that have family that's not in your tree. So for example, the other side of the family, as soon as you go to a child, they might be married and then they have a whole nother half of their family or a grandchild. And so if you provide a tree for them on one family line, they've got that one family line, but that's not their whole family. And so part of the challenge for all of us really is that you need to see your whole family or it's not very fun, right? My kids aren't going to be interested unless they can see everybody.
And see themselves, usually.
And they need to see themselves.
Yeah.
And so we cover all of that. And I would say, you mentioned Ancestry, but I'll mention Family Search just a little bit. You could say, well, your whole family is in Family Search, but is that really true? Yes, it's a global tree, but no, it doesn't have all the world's data. You might have, again, family members who half of their family is in Family Search, but the other half really might not be. And then what do you do? And so we provide a way to show your entire family as if it's one big tree, but without merging.
Coming from multiple trees?
From multiple trees.
Yeah.
And that's the crossing in Tree Crossing. Crossing is actually talking about how they're connect together, where a relationship might cross. So we actually find those relationships. We can bring the trees together and present it to you from your own point of view.
Your family members too, because they all have, we present it as a single experience that's custom for that person. So like I would like to see both of my parents' trees. They're both genealogists, and I like to see both of them. So that's cool. But then I go show it to my kids, and they're like, well, that's great. Where's the other side of the family? Where's my mom's family? Okay, we got to go find those trees. And one of them's in Family Search, and another one's in a Roots Magic file somewhere with somebody else. And so I got to get both of those uploaded. But then once they have that, all of a sudden they've got 4 different trees, and now they've got their whole family, and they can browse around the whole thing, and it's all there. But that's unique to them. You go talk to their first cousins and they need some of those, and then some other tree somewhere else. And so everybody's got different pieces that are important to them. And so it kind of has to be a custom experience for each person almost.
That is fascinating because I did not pick up on that at first when I looked at the website. And it perfectly describes my own personal issue because, guys, I started doing genealogy when I was 8 years old. And I did it on paper. And then I remember when the first software programs came out, I think I used Generations, and I built separate trees, one from my family, one from my husband's. I don't know why, but I was thinking that somehow those would be two different trees, right? Because I'm not related to all them, but my kids are. And so to this day, I still have two separate Roots Magic files. One is Lisa's tree, one is Bill's tree. And of course, my kids want to see both. You're telling me this is going to solve the problem, aren't you?
And it solves that problem and more, right? Because it's going to go beyond your kids. This is a scenario that you have control over. At least you could put those trees together for them. But as soon as they are married or they have children of their own, you're not going to manage like everything in the world.
If you start sharing your research with your cousins and their kids, right? You don't have to go far before people are like, well, that's nice. What about the other half of my family or the other 3/4 of my family, right? It just happens almost immediately with everybody you share your research with. Is almost anybody that's not you is going to want another side of their family to add to it.
Interesting. Do they have to subscribe? Is there a free version? How do they quickly get started?
There is a free version, and all you have to do is go to the website, so treecrossing.com. And we make it pretty obvious how to get started. You can kind of go glance through the information there, but you basically just click the button and follow. Yes, you create an account. It's free to do that. There are some paid plans as well, and that just adds more capability. So you could take a look at the pricing page for that. But that lets you get your tree up and running and check it out right away. It's not a trial. It's free forever. And so I hope that describes it. There are some steps, like Bob was mentioning, where to get your tree up there, you install an app, but we'll walk you through that. So once you sign up, you can download our little utility, and it will help you get your tree uploaded.
Yeah, friends, those of you watching, you're going to be excited because you do not have to export your GEDCOM and then upload it. He's
right.
not kidding. There's a quick little app that helps you do it all. So slick. Everybody can participate in this because it is free. And of course, there's really no reason not to give it a try because there is that basic free version that you can. And then, as David mentioned, there are other plans where you can pay for a subscription model and get more features. So depending on what your needs are, that's all explained there on the website. And the website we've been talking about is treecrossing.com. David Pugmire and Bob Myers, thank you so much for coming by and sharing this really cool new tool with us. I'm excited to use it.
Thank you.